Hello scrappy friends, and welcome back to day 24 of Christie's Beautiful Life's 30 Days of Sketches. And today we're day 24, guys. We are getting there. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate that you tune in and you're interested in this. I hope you stick around to the end to see how this one turns out. Now, straight off the bat, I have to let you guys know I had a little issue here, so I've had to start the video pretty much like halfway through and cut out lots because I forgot to cover up the faded faces of these two boys that are with my son in these photos, and I did not want to put them out there on the internet without their parents' permission. So I have gone ahead and cut out what I can of the bits and pieces that show those two boys. Now, this layout was mostly Cricut work. I hand pieced this beautiful poppy with this Australian flag together. It took forever and a day, and if I left all the footage in, you guys would think I was mad, and I am mad because this project was ridiculous. You can see there all those little tiny bits that are all individually I have placed into there. I've got it on a piece of press and seal just so I can move it around, but you'll notice even when I lift this press and seal bit off, I lose one of the little pieces and I'll put it aside for later. I am proud to say that at the end of this, I had only lost one or two tiny little pieces, which is pretty amazing. The sketch, guys, was up the top ages ago, and it was by Miranda Weber, and it's a cute little sketch. I didn't adhere to it very well though at all, guys. It had loads and loads of layers, some stars and bits and pieces. I'll flick it back up again so that you can have a little look while I'm talking about it and get an idea of how much I didn't actually follow the sketch. I do like these layers, and I'm trying to get these kind of corner layers that you can see in the sketch there with layers sort of on top of them, and that's what I was going for, but ultimately it didn't really end up much like it. But you know what? I scrapbooked some photos that I really loved with a story that was really important to me. So that is the most important thing at the end of the day. Here I'm trying out different papers, trying to get those layers and see what I could build up there. And it took me a while to find the exact right papers to go underneath my mat. So I'm going for layers of grey and green that will tone in with my photos. And ultimately, I can't really find what I'm looking for. I tried this little bit of red. The school uniform the boys have on is red and blue, and I tried that little bit of red thinking poppies red, you know, school uniform red, but it was just too in my face. And in a moment I will pull out a piece of Cherish paper. So Cherish is in our mini catalogue October-December, so it is out now and it is absolutely stunning. I will put a link in the description because if you have not seen the Cherish range, it is absolutely gorgeous. The scrapbooking kit is to die for, and the paper, the bulk paper, which is the one that I pull out now, I am going to hoard, guys. This is it. It's soft, it's beautiful without being overly girly. I'm not an overly flowery girl, which is surprising considering how many flowers I've used in this series, but it's just very, very pretty. So I'm going to cut this down to match one of my layers here, and I am going to start mounting all of popping all of this together. So I'm going to before I actually get right into that though, I am going to blend all the edges of those papers with the Harbour ink, and that's just going to make each of those layers pop just that little bit more. The mat that the large light blue mat there that I have with the photos on top of did not stand out against that Cherish paper, so blending the edges meant that it was definitely its own individual paper, and it stood out and made everything look very neat and tidy. No, that's not the word. cohesive. I don't even know, guys. I'm lost for words today. You can see the technique I'm using here is when I put tape onto the back and I lift just the edges up, and then once I know I'm definitely 100% happy with where I've got that paper, I'll then go and rip those little tabs out, leaving just the double-sided tape underneath. It's a technique I've used for years. I don't quite often explain that in my layout, in my videos. Tell you what, guys, I am tongue-tied this morning. It's actually not even 9:30 in the morning, but I am tongue-tied today. It's not something that I often explain in my layouts, but that's what I do. If you want a tutorial on how I do that, just let me know and I'll do a separate video that will explain exactly what you do. And then I just seen I ripped those tabs out. I was happy with it. Is the corners hold it in place until you're ready to take all of that tape away. I'm now just looking for positioning. Now I've also done a title that was very, very fine that said Anzac Day, and I don't think I set up right at the start of this layout what this even was about. These boys are laying a wreath on Anzac Day, which for Americans, Anzac Day is our memorial for people lost in World War I and World War II. We have marches all around the country and wreath laying ceremonies at most of our memorial sites around the country. Every town basically would have a leaf laying ceremony, or any town of any size would, and it's now something that we encourage our kids to get involved with, even though it's, you know, something that happened in not even in my generation, in past generations, but we like to remember those that were lost and the sacrifices they made. I think it's wonderful that our kids get involved in this, and it was such a privilege to watch my son on this day laying the wreath. Here you can see that I was just popping some glue on the back of that very fine Anzac Day, and you've seen how I just picked it up off a piece of paper and placed it down on the tiny bits down onto the die cut. Here I'm adding some glue and I'm going to put that poppy in place. Now poppies are traditionally red, but this one's just a little bit different. I have one last little title that it will go on there, and that's the 25th of April, which is when we celebrate Anzac Day. And I also printed out some journaling that I will read out to you as well. At the moment, I'm just filling a couple of little holes. There was a couple, I said, tiny little pieces, and where the cutting and the gluing was not 100% perfect. So I'm just going and fixing up some of those tiny little details. The journaling that is on this page is that I said I was so proud of the Bull boys who represented the school at the Anzac Day Memorial Service. It was cold, wet morning. All the boys marched and then stood in the rain during the service, which was with such respect and without complaining. It was lovely to see them being so mature. It was a big thing to ask of young boys. It really did make me so proud of these guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. I really do appreciate every like, every subscribe, and every comment that you leave. Once again, thank you so much. I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.